Okay, so think about this for a second. You know that beggar you might see on your way to work? You probably walk right past, maybe you drop a coin, but you don't really see them, right? Well, what if the coins he collected, what if they were funding something so extraordinary it would change an entire city?
So picture this. Every single morning, like clockwork, outside this old temple on the busiest corner of the city, he'd just appear. He was always silent, head bowed, just holding this old, rusted bowl. Most people, they just ignored him. Some even sneered. But here's the thing. Nobody, and I mean nobody, knew the truth hiding behind that silence.
See, this wasn't just about collecting enough money to get by. Oh no, this was something else entirely. It was a secret mission, a hidden life, and a kind of penance that would, believe it or not, eventually become a legend. So the big question is, what was he really doing?
All right, let's dive into the secret. The man was known only as Fakira, and his whole daily routine was this huge mystery, a mystery that one young boy was absolutely determined to solve.
So this is the picture the city saw, day in and day out. A man who seemed to have absolutely nothing. He never spoke a word, never asked for anything. He just sat there with his bowl. His presence was just a constant fixture on the street, you know? He was basically part of the background, completely and totally overlooked.
And this is where the real mystery begins. See, at the end of the day, he didn't just find a place to crash. Nope. He'd get up and just vanish into this maze of the city's backstreets. And it was this strange ritual, every single day, that really caught the eye of a 12-year-old kid named Rahu.
And let me tell you, what Raghu discovered when he finally decided to follow him, it was something absolutely no one could have ever imagined.
So Raghu follows him, right? He tracks him to this rundown old building and peeks through a window. And what he sees inside, it's just unbelievable. There are nearly 70 kids in there. Yeah, they were poor, their clothes were torn, but every single one of them was sitting there studying with books and slates in their hands.
Then Raghu just watches as Fakira walks in, empties his entire bowl of coins, and gives it all to this old woman who was running the place. And her words just confirmed the incredible truth. This beggar, this silent man from the street corner, he was single-handedly funding a school for dozens of orphan kids.
So, okay, the what was suddenly crystal clear, but that just opened up an even bigger question, right? The why. Why would someone choose a life like this? Who was this man, really?
Well, the answer, as it turns out, was buried in a past life, a life of incredible wealth, a ton of power, and one single devastating mistake that changed absolutely everything.
Turns out his name wasn't Fakira at all. He was Ranveer Singh. And before he was a beggar on the street, he was one of the wealthiest, most powerful businessmen in the entire city. No joke.
I mean, talk about two completely different lives. This was a story of extremes. He went from being this tycoon surrounded by mansions and cars to a nameless beggar living on spare change. But this wasn't some tragic fall from grace. It was a choice, a deliberate, self-imposed punishment. But for what?
Okay, so here's the turning point. Years ago, Ranveer, driven by pure greed, seized the land from an orphanage to build a new factory. And then, the unthinkable happened. That very same night, a fire broke out. Dozens of the orphan children who lived there, they were trapped inside. They didn't make it out.
He eventually confessed the whole story to Raghu. He said that guilt just consumed him. He was haunted by what he'd done. So, he made a choice. He abandoned everything. His money, his name, his entire life, to spend the rest of his days trying to make up for it, trying to atone by helping the very kind of children he had so carelessly let die.
But his story of redemption, it wasn't over yet, not by a long shot. It was actually about to reach this tragic, heroic climax that would finally reveal his incredible secret to the entire world.
So then one day, out of nowhere, a massive, devastating flood hits the city. Water is everywhere, and it completely submerges the hidden school. And Ranveer, he doesn't hesitate for a second. He just rushes right into the raging water, pulling child after child to safety. He gets every single one of them out. But while saving the very last child, the current just becomes too strong, and it sweeps him away.
When the news finally broke, the entire city was just in shock. The newspapers told the whole story of Ranveer Singh, the millionaire who became a beggar just to educate orphans, the man everyone had scorned, the one they'd all ignored. He was, in fact, the city's greatest philanthropist, a true, selfless hero.
Ranveer Singh didn't survive the flood, but his death, it wasn't the end of his story. In a way, it was the beginning of a legacy that would carry on his mission, but on a scale that he probably never could have even dreamed of.
You see, inspired by his incredible sacrifice, the whole city came together. People donated money. They donated their time. They rallied. That ruined school was completely transformed, rebuilt from the ground up, and renamed in his honor. And today, what's now known as the Ranveer Foundation stands as a living testament to his life, educating thousands of underprivileged children who might not have had a chance otherwise.
His story is just such a powerful reminder, isn't it? That true worth, it's not about how much money you have. It's about redemption. It makes you think that the very people we overlook every single day might be living the most incredible stories. And it really leaves us with a tough question to ponder. Who is a true hero? Is it the powerful tycoon who builds empires? Or is it the broken man who rebuilds lives, one small coin at a time?